to Sheringham, and Solskjaer has won it!
Welcome to our football show, and today's our guest is Fernando from Spain. Fernando is specialist on football analyst. Good evening, Fernando. Welcome to the football show. And this episode we will talk. Thank you, Fernando. It's nice to see you again in our show. And this show is all about. It's a very great opportunity to see you again. And the show is really doing good, and thank you for your cooperation from Spain. You have a lot of efforts you've taken care of to our viewers to see more in-depth knowledge of European football too. So today's discussion is more about we are going to discuss about how the qualification match between Spain and Greece, and it's good for Spain that Sweden has lost against Georgia 2-0. And it is a very good, and how are the teams playing? And then we will discuss the great show talking about on Morris La Masia, because La Masia is now really a great talk about for maybe a Barcelona saviors. It will always do that. So Fernando, let's start our show, and we are now talking about more or less. We're talking about more on the qualification round where Spain has beaten Greece 1-0, and that Paulo Sevilla has goal scored and penalty, and in this penalty shootout after 2009. It's a great history comeback, and also good news for you because Sweden also lost 2-0. So the next match will be just a draw, maybe a draw to win for berth in Qatar. So now, Fernando, I'll ask you about the last this qualification round has happened last Thursday and Friday. What about your observation? Let's talk about Spain versus Greece. What are your observation, the Spanish team and Enrico's strategy?
Yes, my friend, it's a good news because Spain won Greece. Only one goal, but I think it's interesting to know that in Spain team, the injury or offensive player in Spain as Ferran Torres, Gerard Moreno, Oyarzabal, and anymore, and Sufati also is not very good news for offensive Spanish national team. But well, I think it's enough. It's enough with one goal. It's enough to win to Greece. Well, I think it's interesting because now Spain is in the first position in the Group B. Well, I think it's a good news because now only we need. I think it's not difficult because the next game with Sweden is possible that Spain has to play 100%. To get the 3 points.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's interesting. It's very interesting game. Now the national team has to finish with the classification directly for Qatar.
Yeah, that's great. But how do you this match? Who's look at the best player the Spanish team has played that match against Greece that night? And how was it? Yeah, sorry,
Kaushik.
Yeah, no, I said how you felt that the Spain has played the last match.
Yes, I felt in general Spain is continuing with the same tactical and system. I think it's very interesting that independent that there are 5-6 very important players that is not playing because it's in Europe. I think we don't change with the system, and I cannot decide only for one player. I think it's more important with Luis Enrique is wherever is the opponent, wherever is the situation, always the Spanish team is playing for with offensive, we taking the control of the game, and I think it's the more important is the team. It's not only to decide for one play.
Yeah, I think the Spain, as Enrico has tried to make his team more on balance, not depending on single individual players, because one player is injured and still Spain is doing well. And now, Fernando, I know the Spain is a good opportunity. And how do you, because you have also closely watched that Sweden versus Georgia match, was really an unexpected results. And then also Ibrahimovic also have at the team at the age of 40. So how do you feel about Swedish strategy against how the Georgia has a little upset in this group because nobody talked about Georgia will beat Sweden by 2-0.
Yes, but it's a very surprising the result of Georgia Suecia 2-0. Okay, that I think is for Spanish team is very interesting the result, because Sweden is a good team. Okay, because it's a good team, it's a good group, but I think at this moment, Spanish team, I think is so high level of Sweden, and it's very important to know that Spain is playing in Sevilla, and I think it's very interesting playing in this city, in this stadium, with all supporting is in this game is with the national team 100%. I think is in Spain we said is the 12 players. The support in this match I think is very important. But always, whenever I believe independent of the level of Sweden, Spain have to play for all, for 100% with intensive and with the system that Luis Enrique is playing in every game.
Yeah, but what do you think about the Swedish as when they brought back Ibrahimovic? This was a correct decision to Ibrahimovic to be a team again?
For me, I think the time of play is finished. 2 sessions, 3 sessions again. I think Ibrahimovic is okay. He's a big player. He's a big striker. But I think the time of the high level of Ibrahimovic is for the national team could be interesting because there are no another better best player. Okay. But I think it's not a player to take the decision to get the 3 point with the Spanish team.
Yeah. Now we're talking about this interesting group, the qualification groups, and how do you expect the Sweden versus Spain match? What is your Sweden versus Spain match? That's a very important match coming up with Spain.
Yes, I think normally if Spain take the control of the ball, I think it's impossible that not only with Sweden. I think with wherever another team, normally Spain is better in the field to another national team. Yes.
That is very good. Yeah, that is very interesting topic you're talking about. Now I come to another interesting match where you're talking about this qualification round Thursday and Friday about Italy and Switzerland. How do you rate this match, Fernando?
I think it's so interesting. I think it's, in my opinion, is the the group that is more difficult in this moment to know who is in the first position, because if you know that it's necessary that Switzerland has to get 2 goals more than Italy if two both is winning the next game, okay? Then the first one is normally in this group that Sweden Switzerland and Italy is no issue. The winner is to win the games, but normally Italy is so difficult that Switzerland is getting to win more than Italy. Okay.
Yeah.
But yes, I like to match the spirit, the personality of the Switzerland team. I think it's very intensive. It's very intensive team, and technically is a very good. They have got very good players also. But well, I think Italy is Italy. Italy is the excellent national team where is in a very important competition as is this classification for Qatar.
And also Italy is a very in good form, and with the team, and their very spirit is very high. The player from the Euro, they're playing very good football, and absolutely it's a fantastic football they're going to do. But I now have to come to another interesting this group league match with a lot of hopes about the match between the Portugal versus the Republic of Ireland, where a lot of expectation of and Ronaldo's breaks Sergio Ramos records for highest European international caps. It was a great achievement. So do you think about how you rate the Portugal this season as a Portugal as a team? Of course, Ronaldo, but there are a lot of good players in this season of Portugal, like Fernando is there. And then also Adriano Silva. These are all young fellas. All are a good team. So how do you rate Portugal this year, this season? There's all the Portugal players that they are playing very well in their respective European club championships. Yes.
I think it's together Italy and Spain, Portugal, Alemania, Germany also is. Normally, in the normal situation, is the best team in Europe, of course. But it's a surprising. The Portugal is in the last game with Ireland. That is not the best level of Portugal. But now we have to take care with Serbia. Serbia is another big team. It's very important, not only individual. In my opinion, Portugal is better individual technical player. Okay, but well, I think it's very important in this kind of match, in this kind of game. It's so important that the team. The tactical decision is the topic that is necessary to get the 3 point. And for the next game of Portugal with Serbia, it's not easy. I think Portugal need the best level. Of Portugal as 10, not only Ronaldo, not only whatever other player. Yeah, but it's this the qualification. A lot of goals are scored. Croatia scored 7-1, and the England yesterday beat Albania for 5-0. And Germany 9-0 for Leicester. So how do you feel about? How do you know about? I like to talk about a little more about the European football in Germany, because after now their new coach
have done by Hans Flick is doing very good, and Joachim Löw has that was his farewell match with the German team. It's present in 9-0. It's a great farewell for Joachim Löw. It's a perfect farewell for a great coach. So how do you rate this young Hans Flick? I knew Hansi very well because he was in Bayern, so I looked at very well. He was a very great guy, and what I like about Hansi Flick, he is very smart and very flexible guy. He always kept in all the Bundesliga clubs together, tried to make a good combination of the team. How do you look at his 6 matches and a wonderful records of, I think, 27 goals they've scored in the qualification?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Yes, so
how do you think about
but we have to analyze. It's very important. I'm going to give you only one date. Okay, it's impossible that, for example, Andorra is the budget of the national team is no more than €1 million. But Spanish, the budget of Spanish national team is more than 300 million of euro.
the total value of the team?
Yes, and it's impossible. There are a big difference between the league of Spain, of Bundesliga, La Liga, Premier League, in Italy, with another league as Macedonia, Chipre, Andorra. Is big difference between some national team. A lot different.
Yes, that I understood very well. The big difference between these two teams. But what do you feel now? Also, new teams are coming up very well played. But this tournament is qualification round was very competitive and very like you see the Georgia. Have played a very good game against Sweden and they beat. That was a good result to them.
Yes.
And that's the most important thing. And also, I have also a little bit want to discuss about the last 3-4 years how Austria and Switzerland developed. Austria was never be a figure in European football even in the last 10 years, in the last 5-6 years in Austria, because this is I was always thinking about the Austria as a very big element in European football coming up, very big way, because I very closely work with Austrian football. I have a lot of good friends, an Austrian coach. They have, I told them, because I have seen 10 years back with their infrastructure they're developing. At that point of time, one of my friends is Schachner. He was a World Cup in 2009, 1970. He was a World Cup player. He scored a goal also. And he told me that they are developing and I'm talking about 8-9 years back. They said, yes, our no plan to young people to talent search and make them a team. And now they're getting the results. And what was the main thing in Switzerland? And Switzerland still, Hartmann Hotspur have changed. I know Hartmann Hotspur when he was Bayern coach. And then after he has joined Swiss team. And then Hartmann Hotspur has changed the philosophy of Swiss team. I am always... because he has he has also changed Bayern philosophy to the world of football that Bayern is committing now. It's due to also Hartmann make them believe that you can beat the world level. So that is also they understood to make the believe to do the things. And I think it's very good, a good thing. This I want to discuss a little bit more about because Switzerland, particularly Austria. What do you think about the Austria's development for the last 3-4 years? Even Austria has played a very good game in even the Euro Championship. Even you look at the Salzburg as RB Salzburg also playing very good football in the European Champions League also. So what do you think about the Austria as one of the European force in coming days? What do you think about Austria's upcoming development?
Yes, I think it's very interesting. It's very interesting this conversation about, for example, it's one example, okay, Austria, but you can look with Croatia. Croatia is fantastic. The new methodology using for this new country is, I think, is so interesting. And but well, I think we have to be very objective with the economic situation of Austria, of Switzerland, of Polonia also, for example. But when we compare it, the budget of this country, that yes, I agree with you that it's very interesting how they are development the league, and now there are very interesting club playing in the first competition in Europe, in the champion or in UEFA League, okay. But we have to be conscious that it's impossible that some countries as Albania, San Marino, Malta, or Liechtenstein or Chipre, it's impossible that this country national team is taking a competition with another country that the budget of the national team is 100 more than this country. It's impossible.
That's yes. But if you see also, I have a good. If you look back in the European Championship with North Macedonia,
yes,
they're also coming up. North Macedonia. Yes. I'm talking about. They are retired. The great striker called Goran Pandov. They are retired, but they have created a lot of history on they are coming up. I think this Yugoslavia, this area has developed Serbia. That area also have a football history. They try to put it back in this history.
True. Yes. You know this all East country in Europe is they are a very good history as in club in the first division is fantastic. There are countries that is coming of of Russia. All country is near Russia, is near the old Yugoslavia. The history level always was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the development, not only football is another sport, as you know, is the methodology, the system, the training system, the physical and psychology development and working of this country always were in the first level of Europe.
Yeah, but this is absolutely a perfect. I think Europe has like Austria, Switzerland, and then also North Macedonia. A lot of teams coming up. I'm not surprised about Austria because I have last 10 years I have a very close watch on Austrian football, and I have very good relation with them.
Yes.
They are and close to Germany. That they are focused to the German-speaking country, and they are very focused about the German philosophy, and that they adapted very well, and they are focusing on youth development. I have seen their youth development infrastructure is really good, and also the success of the club is always great because the Red Bull Salzburg, RB Salzburg is doing a very good football. They have played, and their success story really prompted a great thing. And I'm really sure, Fernando, this is kind of football is coming. But one of I must appreciate this World Cup qualification round. A lot of young players. Let us discuss. Who you feel this young players is more talented? How the young players are played in this the qualification round and World Cup qualification round and European qualification. What do you feel about young talents like Spain? We have Gavin. They have played. Just 17. He has played at the age of 17. He has played, and then in England they have Rhodes. Every year the younger player are playing a very good. Now if Fatih is injured, but he has also 18 years. And Padri also 17, 18 years. Though I think these are the players. Even in also the German team, every team has a lot of young blood. Again, I come to the point that at the age of 17 years, Gary is playing, and same time 40 years old, Ibrahimovic is playing again for Sweden. So how do you feel that kind of contradictions about the whole thing about as a specialist, as an analyst? So what do you think about it? That this kind of contradictions.
You know that I'm a specialist in young talent careers, Of course, I think it's so interesting. It's very interesting that these players, young talent player, is possible they can play in the first team at the moment that not only they have got the technical and tactical condition, or always is very important the psychology development of this player to play in this kind of competition, okay? Because the pressure is so high, so high. Then I think, but one example is in Spain, you know, the up 21 national Spanish national team, I think is around 70% of this player is playing in this moment in the first team.
That is a great achievement for Spanish football.
So, for example, Luis Enrique is the best example of course that they take care very serious how is the system go with this kind of players. But at this moment, a player with 17 or 18 years old, if the level he play in the third division in Spain, always is possible they come in the national team, in the senior national team, of course. And there are no another bad example that Spanish national team in the last European Cup. You was looking as the more of 50% of the team in Spain is young talent players.
That is great, and I think the Spain has looking forward approach. I think this is also Germany is also approach. This is, I think, the two biggest. I think I always felt that Spain and Germany is the two biggest philosophy of football as are running down nowadays in the world of football. So then, of course, we are talking about more on the football and the European qualifications. I am really still it's going on, and I hope this by Monday we have a very clear picture of who are qualifying or not, and this is a very important thing. So, and this is very interesting for us because this is a very important. The European qualification round is very important to the world of football. Now, also the Brazil from the Latin America qualified. Argentina also done. Mexico is already done. So I think Brazil is always
Brazil now is the first thing. Brazil.
Yeah, of course. They are always the Brazil is the world of football. They are like everybody has Brazil. Brazil is a romantic football. As always, any part of the world, if you go. The Brazilians has a different style, a different way of feeling of their hearts. But the Germans are more conservative on their study football, and also total football from Spain is really a fantastic. And also, we are very convinced about today's match of also another team we should look at very serious about the Holland, like Netherlands. They're doing very good. Because they have they're a mixture of a fantastic young talents and fantastic team.
And Denmark, don't forget. We can't forget Denmark.
Denmark this season, particularly after the Euro Championship, when after the Eriksen is injured after Eriksen incident happened, the entire team has changed. Trust me, Fernando, I never see the team has such a change with a unbelievable football. I remember this Danish team, and when I was young and when I was want to see the match with the 92 with the Loudon brothers. That was a fantastic. That was that's like they call it a Danish dynamite. And really, I love to see the Danish football. Is also I love because when the Danish play football, really looks attractive. It's beautiful. It's all heart. It's they said their heart is like a Danish dynamite, and they play. After the Eriksen, unbelievable. They are more emotions.
With Denmark, I think. You can take me my words. It's possible, in my opinion, in this moment, the best complete team in Europe.
Yeah, of course, they're the dark horse, and I think I personally felt that they are very
intensive. Yes, it's so intensive. so intensive, and technical is very high level. Technically is very high level and very intensive. And in this moment, football in Europe is not only technical; it's necessarily physical and yes, physically and technically is in the same level.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So, Fernando, we have discussed a lot a little bit on the story of European qualification. What was a very interesting, important events has happened for the Spain and Barcelona. We will discuss. That was always Barcelona was a story after Messi gone. There's everything happened in Barcelona in football. They have left the coach Koeman, and they have every time a news came. And I think the Barcelona's two things. I have Barcelona. They are going a very difficult situation financially. But I personally believe, and I knew them very well. I was closely associated. I'm working with them something from with a project with them, and I seen in there they have a very strong. Why I like this the attitude of the Barcelona club this time. They trust on their own players, like their. It is a very good example of world of football. Instead, in a deeper financial crisis, they can still believe they're 17, 18 years old boys from their own grown home players. That is really, really fantastic. And I like Laporta's strategy to make them have a long-term contract so that they have a great belief on their own players. That shows they have all the young players. Most of them they make a contract for 2026, and the clause like Ansu Fati they have made in 2026, and they what a fantastic amount of the clause they're making a clause of 1 billion euro for the buyout clause. It's a fantastic, and I think this is a way we talk about the La Masia. So let's talk about a little bit more about what you feel about the La Masia is doing for a club, and La Masia can be a perfect example for the world of football. So let's focus on our own talent and trust on these young kids. What you're talking about? Let's talk about. Fernando, we need to know about La Masia from you. Let's talk about La Masia, and let the La Masia can be a Masia to the world of football.
Yes, I think it's fantastic.
That also shows that money doesn't matter. If you create your own homegrown player. What I like, the one comments from, I always I like, the Willy Innes. We talk about two days, but I know Willy very well. I knew him from 2008. He was a very outspoken guy, and he was the most successful manager in the world of football. Is Willy Innes of Bayern Munich. He said very nicely, because Germany also believe it. The Bayern also believe their own players. And he said, the money power, like other big clubs, I don't want to mention the names now, but Willy had mentioned, that they cannot beat me because we have trust on our own players. So what Barcelona is doing, try to talk about their own players. It is an example to the world of football. So let's trust on your homegrown players. Fernando, let's talk about, want to learn from you, what is La Masia, how they developed. He should highlight on that more.
La Masia is the big factory, football player factory in Spain, in Europe, and I believe is around the world. It's not only development of football players. It's development of I think it's the difference between this the difference about this academy or another academy we can meet in the physical, technical, psychology, social, and all different opponent that we can imagine in the player, in the person. Okay, I think in La Masia is the dream of any players, of any young talent players, and very important that after 40 years, that is not only 5, 10 years, they don't change the philosophy about the development of the players. In this moment, we can meet around 600 athletes. It's not only football now. It's the principal 348 is football players, but there are another sport, basketball, handball, hockey. There are very different specialties sports, but the principal is football, of course. And the more important that for Football Club Barcelona, La Masia is the best important, the very important part of the club in the past, in the present, and in the future.
Of course.
And you can say, how is possible? Yes, it's normal because they have got an ideology about the system, the football system that they use in all this time. You know that in all different below category and in the first 10, the principal philosophy is pass, and pass the ball, control the ball, offensive action, and at the moment that the player loses the ball, immediately 3 or 4 players is in pressure. This is the system. This is the rules about the more different between La Masia and another European academy.
Oh, Fernando, I just want to say about, you said the La Masia has more than 40 years of the heritage, the huge heritage La Masia has. And now what is about, if you look at the economically now, they're doing not good in the financial side of Football Club Barcelona. But these players have a very good opportunity to have the market values. What is the market value, what present market value of La Masia players now? What is the market value for the whole La Masia as the player are playing now?
Yes, we can look only that any player, as for example Ansu Fati, you was speaking about this, Gavi. Any player in this moment, the value is around minimum 25 millions of euro.
Individual. So it's a very, I think that is a very good investment that they built at the La Masia. So do you think about this La Masia example can be all the big clubs or smaller clubs, they should replicate, because they should now, footballers should bring the young players to be highlighted, like even in the national team that is 17 years old playing, 18 years old, but never thought about it. So they are even big clubs, because even clubs are now trust like Barcelona, the brand like Barcelona, the club like Barcelona, they are totally depending. And not only that, they have a long-term contract with those young players, but so they have a high regards and belief for their own players. That is a great example to the other club. It's my personal opinion. What do you think about that? That the older clubs, should they have academy, they should trust on their own talent rather than buying players. They should produce their own players and create you said rightly said at the beginning of discussion of La Masia, these are the biggest football factory of the world, not only in Europe. And if you look at the value of the older players of the last 40 years, La Masia has produced maybe billions of euros. If you look at the whole of 40 years, it can be. It can be a very big calculation. You need a big calculator to calculate how many billions are transacted with the La Masia pass out for dollars. And what about now? I'm done talking about another thing. This is very now very talking about one side. It's very interesting again. When Barcelona has full faith on the La Masia and they bring Xavi, and my personal opinion was there, Xavi was basically he's a Masia guy. He has a great legacy with Barcelona. He understands the club philosophy. He is a Barca boy and a Barca legend, of course. I mean, he understood because the Barca focused on this year. This particularly, they all believe. I think the President Laporte also told a lot of time that they believe on their young talents to be a future of Barcelona. That's a very good decision to take. But now, my question to you. Now, yesterday you must have heard a great news that the 38 years old Dani Alves again back to Barcelona. So what is the contradiction? The Alves is 38 and the Xavi is 17. So what the contradictions you feel that what do you require from Dani Alves and that at age of 38 and he come back again and he presented very well and Barca also presented very, very highly like Xavi is and highly presented. What do you feel as an analyst? What would be the Xavi? What about the Dani Alves' role in Barcelona's coming days?
I think, in my opinion, it's so stupid. It's so stupid thinking. I think and I don't believe that. I think it's a false news because it's impossible. Dani Alves, yes, of course, he's free. He's coming free. He's no. It's for the economics of Barcelona, it's fantastic. But I understand that Barcelona don't need Dani Alves at this moment. Yes, of course, it's necessary. Xavi is coming to training as the role of course, and immediately in 1 hour he takes the control of the club. Xavi take the control of the club. Not only take the control of the first team, take the control that the first team and all different below category. Then, at the moment that Xavi is looking about the best players in every position, independent if it's in the second team in Barcelona B, C, he take this player, this young talent player, and is immediately I'm sure that he's going to give the opportunity that play and show how it's possible that a player with 70 years old is playing in first division in the maximum level. Well, I understand it's necessary player with experience also in a team, okay, always. But we can look Piqué, we can look that in this moment there are 7, 8, 9 players with enough experience in Barcelona to mix with the new players and getting that Xavi, I imagine that he's going to look in this direction. I believe we have to compare at this moment with at the moment that Guardiola is coming to the club. Only that Messi is not here, okay. But now we can play. Barcelona can play. Barcelona can play with Ansu Fati, with Gavi. There are another 5, 6 big young talent players, very similar to Xavi, to Iniesta, to Busquets. Also, it's very important in Barcelona in this moment, but no Alves. Alves is finished. It's finished for Barcelona, and I believe it's finished for any club at this moment in Spain.
But do you think the Alves role may be assisting Xavi in a later on? Because Alves has experience of his wide experience. Because Alves is not a product of Masia, he's a different way.
No.
So it was really a strange look for me. It looks like I don't know what role. Let's time can say what role Alves can play in the Barcelona strategy. Because again, it's a little bit of contradiction when one side they have bring their young talents highly regarded and highly motivated by them with a long-term contract. So the young talent also feel very comforts that they have a long-term contract with a club like Barcelona. So they have a mentally very free. So because when he was 17, 18 years boy, come to a big club like Barcelona, and they have a good long-term contract, should give them one side is a financially good position. Also, it gives them mental peace. They have another 3 years or 4 years contract with a club like Barcelona. Give them a mental stability. That was my understanding. What do you feel about that? What's your take on that? The Barca strategy for give a long-term contract for the young players. What would be a good strategy for the players to, particularly psychologically, players to feel more comfortable rather than short-term contract?
Yes. And another aspect that we can to analyze is that in La Masia they are working with a new system. Is La Masia 360 grade is the name of this project, that they take care with the young players, that because not all young talent players is getting to play in the first team, and not all players is possible play in the first team. There are more players that in the future they have to continue with another in another club or in another job different of football. Okay, and in La Masia they work with this big problem sometimes for the young talent players. Okay, because not all young talent players get the dream to play in the first team. Okay, but about your question, if it's interesting a long contract for this kind of projects, yes, of course, because Barcelona, and you know, is necessary. They need to financial the club with this kind of player when they sell the player to, for example, Bayern de Munich, and Bayern de Munich pay very easy 80 million for Gavi in 2 years. Why not? And this kind of contract, I think, is necessary. It's necessary for a club because they have to finance the project, of course.
That's why, I think the La Masia also shows us that the producing a players, building a players, and Fernando, you have a long career as analyst. You have experience with young kids, young talent. So, Fernando, what was the a little bit more from La Masia? What was the age of La Masia? Take the young talents, and what is the process of La Masia? They recruit the players, young talent. How they process of how do La Masia receive the players, and what was the process, and what they do? I don't know. Enlighten.
Yes, you know that La Masia. No, sorry, not La Masia. Is Football Club Barcelona has got academy for around the world. In all country, you can meet an academy of Football Club Barcelona. In this academy, there are scouting team that normally they are working for the general manager in the club. Okay. For example, in Kenya or in Ghana, or Morocco, for example. In Morocco, there are very nice Football Club Barcelona academy, and there are around 3-4 scouters working exclusive to select the best young talent players.
So, and what was the age they look at? You give an example, they have also a very good system in Latin America also, because they search Messi from the Argentina.
Yes.
So they have a very good because also Spanish-speaking countries. Latin America is a Spanish-speaking.
Yes.
So it's easy access to be all these countries. So, what my question is, what was the they have a spread of scouts, a systematic scout. They first searching a talent, and what was the age they perfectly look at for it? What was the age they look at to bring La Masia?
Yes, normally they are starting, but of course it's so different. The methodology that training with 9 years old players that, for example, with 12 or 13 years old. But normally, around 9, 10 years old, they are starting to scouting this kind of players with 9 or 10 years old.
9 and 10 years old. And what was the maximum level of the train? How many years they train? Up to 16 or 17? What was the period of time they should be trained in La Masia in various grades, various sections? Because you have said around about now, how many players said you said 300, more than 360 players now in La Masia. Am I right or wrong?
Yes, exactly. Around 340 players.
340. Yeah, you said around 340 players. And what was the age category of these 340 years? Approximately the average age of those the young boys.
Yes, there are category with it's around 12. Yes, yeah. 12 to 14. After 14, 16, and yes, 16 is juvenile and is junior. Is the name in English, junior, and with 16 more or less is, and in my opinion, this is my personal opinion, around 16, 17 is the ideal age to know if the development of the player is the level to play in first team or in the senior team or in the second team, because Barcelona is in the third division, but there are another Barcelona B is playing at this moment in second B division.
Okay. So that is a team that was the stipulated education side. But this is not only, no, you rightly said that not all of them will play for Barcelona team. They should go for other clubs of the world, and because they have trained one of the best training methodology in La Masia. And
yes, and sorry, coach. Yes, it's very important that the people have to know that it's very important is in the same moment in 24-hour life of these young talent players in La Masia. They live as with academic development is very important. Is in the same level that in as a training development, okay, or tactical, of course, but they have to study every day and with a system into the La Masia.
Yeah. So La Masia is a kind of a scientific process which was we're processed with the technology, with process of emotions, everything together. It's a kind of a composite approach to the and also a scientific approach to the football, and they produce now that we are rating with 300 more than 360 young players are waiting there. So of course this is a very great experience you have shared with us, and I think La Masia can be a very great example to the world of football. If this is the system you should employ, and when you need, your own people can play again a big role. And you know that this is also an example of football. Talent speaks a lot. This money never speaks, because money can buy, but money cannot buy talent. Talent has to be grown with an eye. You have a money, you can buy anybody, but you cannot. You know, when somebody is buying Messi or buying investing for Ronaldo, and they are Ronaldo. But somebody was found out, like I always respect why Ferguson has bought him when Manchester United. He was just a 17-year young kid, and he's not in a big club. He was just in a Sporting Lisbon, and he was picked by Ferguson. This type of coach who has this type of manager, he has an eye. So this is an important part.
Yes.
You know, the eyes is not money, but I like the Uli's comment. I always like Uli. Yeah, but what I like 2 days before that, I've read about Uli Hoeneß has said is I have always beaten the best money power clubs. Because why? Because we had an eye, we have a vision, and that is really it's really a foot, because Uli is himself a footballer. He runs the business very well. He brings the club and such a wonderful. I was very closely seen his strategy, styles, and his dedication for the club, unbelievable. I knew him very well. He also knew me. He also loved me. I have a very high regards, and it was always a pleasure to. I knew him, and I learned a lot of things from his is aggressive as a booking a club. He always believes his own players, own talents, and football. I always believe money is not important. Money is of course important, but his identification of talents is very important because the right
yes,
player. I mean, when I remember the days where when I bring Thomas Muller in Kolkata in 2009, he was just a second team player. He was on Batstuber.
yes,
When he was in Kolkata, he's a simple boy. And when he's the same year, he went to Bayern and he got a first year contract, professional contract for Bayern. And the next year, the history, he is a Golden Boot player of the World Cup. So I have seen him very closely to grow in the second team. That's why I always saying that's what the German philosophy, and also I like because of the two philosophy. Why I like because to do the Germany and Spain, maybe a little bit of football style is different, but what I very common both of them. It's in Europe, particularly the world, they have a very good approach to an identification of talents and notch the talent that is everywhere. But maybe a football philosophy is different, or the style is maybe different, the play of approach. But the one common factor I always feel that there's a very find the talent and grow the talent. That is important, and I'm seeing it in Spain.
But it's not only find the talent; it's necessary a professional process after.
Of course.
When you select the player, okay, it's not difficult. It's not difficult, and in this moment, of course, is we have got technology to select good players. Okay, it's necessary more, of course, or not only technology to select the talent player, but after it's necessary very professional process to development the different part of the young. Okay, it's necessary working with the sociology, psychology, emotion, and we can not forget that the family is necessary in all moment. We have in this process work with the family also, not only with the players, with the young
absolutely players. You're absolutely right. You are, Aman. I'm really we have a lot of things to discuss about the La Masia, we discuss about the European qualifications, but most interesting part of the La Masia factor, because this is a very important discussion, and you have enlightened us, our viewers, and also me, how the La Masia works and how La Masia is doing his process of 40 years of whole way. You can, even if you ever need a calculator to calculate how many players earned how many money, millions and billions of they've created. You rightly said in the beginning of when you talk about it, it's a football factory. The rightly word said it's a factory where all the produced. And you also rightly said that summing up that not only an identification of talent, you need a process to highlight the talent and channelize the talent so they can explore their avenues in their professional life. That is a very important role to play. That is important. So I think Fernando, let's you have fantastic elaborate the whole way of the European qualifications and European football. We have a great knowledge about it, and also a fantastic way to presenting La Masia's. We have known a lot of unknown factors from your experience, your own way of thought process that you have did it. We have a very interesting this week of football. We have seen one side is 17 years. This is in European qualification. We have seen the 17 years old has a debut in world of football, and also have seen the return of 40 years old Ibrahimovic of Sweden team. And also we have seen in club football, we have a 17 years old Gary, and also with the same club a 38 years old Elvis to be played together. So really, if this is only possible with football, I don't know what the reason will come. I don't know what, because because it's all about the.
Yes, and we have to analyze in another program about the India national team. What's happening with India national team?
No, of course we should. One of our episodes would be we'll involve our few guests from our in panelists will involve that how we can grow the European and Indian football together. And also, one thing I can tell about, although we are not, but we are one of the largest viewer of European football in India. So
Yes.
rather than we are not only from India, we can one thing I can proudly say we are the highest in the world, the clapping nation. We clap others, but we try to be our nation should be also a playing nation. That was our dream. And of course, this
Yes.
show will also talking about more on development of football, of course, with how this show can help the Indian football too. Yes, it is very good, and I think the Indian your encouragement of your thought process would definitely enlighten us about the La Masia is one of the great Masia of Indian football, that they can, even in the dire necessity of financial crisis, the La Masia can bring the club back in the track. And also, it's a really good for a club to also believe their own grown talent. And whenever needed, the talent works. There's also a proverb saying in the world, not in football, in your life philosophy, is always your home people pays a lot. But you need, and your own people will help you. So trust on the crux of the story. Today's discussion is we should trust our young talents. The world should we should look forward. And in any part of the world, football is just a passion. And the passion lies in the young hearts. And we should be young, not that the age is a number. That also, the age is a number is proved by Ronaldo. Is unbelievable in 36 years the age, but his scientifically, biologically, it's a much lesser. Yes. He's everything doing fantastic. So in football can see a very interesting one side, the 17 years boy playing his first match, another side, a 40 years old guy, great Ibrahimovic, come back to play for Sweden. One in Barcelona, and Sufeti, and it's Gavi, along with Dani Alves. That's football.
No.
Let's see what is going to be. And once again, thank you, Fernando, for your precious time.
No, welcome. Thank you very much.
Your discussions will definitely enlighten our viewers. And let's see you next Saturday. Thank you, Fernando, for your time. Next Saturday, we should be a next set of questions. And viewers, we should have another program with Fernando on next Saturday. And tomorrow we have a program with Bundesliga with Gunter Nasser. That's a good night for everyone. Let's see you tomorrow with Gunter about more German and European football. Good night. Have a nice day too. And enjoy football. Football is life. Good night.
Beckham into